Hello and welcome to another episode of The Average EV. Today I'm taking the ID.4, and in celebration of the end of this wonderful 2025, we're taking a road trip down memory lane. Let's get into it. All right, everybody, so you actually join me in the future. I'm at Buc-ee's, so you know I at least make it to Buc-ee's. And I decided for the end of the year, instead of doing one of those videos where I just talk at the camera and, I don't know, ramble, I decided that I'm going to do a little end of the year road trip, reminisce about the Average EV. We've been going for 3 years now. We've had 3 different vehicles. I've made a bunch of videos, over 300 videos, and you all have been there all along the journey, so thanks for doing that. This video is really for you all who've been there to support me. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and you get to see an awesome road trip and an awesome vehicle. 2023 ID.4 still holds its own, but anyways, now I'm gonna go back in time where I'm at my house starting this journey, and then let's see what happens. Good morning, everybody. We are on our way down a trip down memory lane. And so basically there's some drinks that I can only get in North Carolina. So I'm going to North Carolina. Raleigh typically has them, maybe some other spots, but if I go to Raleigh, there's a couple spots I can stop at to get it. Okay, that's the secondary mission. The main mission today is trip down memory lane. We're gonna be going down 81, which is actually, if memory serves me right, one of the first longer EV road trips I did was with my friend. I don't even know if I did a video on it. I didn't. We just took the car. This is pre-Average EV. We took the car down 81. We went all the way to Asheville and came back. We stayed in Asheville, you know, did a couple things there and then came back. So that was one of the first trips I ever did. So I'm gonna stop and reminisce a little bit about, you know, that trip and other trips. Then go into Raleigh, do a couple things there. Might stop at a couple Ayana sites in Raleigh, maybe one, just Garner. I want to check out Garner again since they kind of, you know, dotted their I's and crossed their T's. And then I'm going to head back in towards 95, or out, I guess, towards, you know, the Atlantic, towards 95. We're going to stop in Wilson, North Carolina at Parker's Barbecue, grab some food for the family. And then we'll head up north to 95. We'll reminisce there. A lot of memories on 95. A lot of them not good. A lot of them with Electrify America. And the main premise of this video, aside from being a trip down memory lane, is I'm going to try and use a lot of Electrify America. Selfishly, because I'm in the ID.4. The free charging's running out. When I get a little bit more free charging out of this thing before it expires. But also, I just want to see, you know, is Electrify America getting better? Now, am I completely married to Electrify America on this trip? No, I can stop anywhere I want. But I'm going to try and at least hit a couple of the ones, Richmond, I'm talking about you, that I have fond memories of. Actually, I might not charge at the Richmond one, but we'll see. I don't know. But anyways, let's go ahead and get on the road. Coffee's not even open yet. It's 4:41. Maybe it is. I'll double check. But we'll get on the road. We'll stop at a Starbucks somewhere along the way, and then I'll catch up with you all. Actually, before I do that, let me flip around, give you the plan. All right, everyone, we're at 76%. I'll reset the trips when I head out. 33 degrees, but it's super windy. The reel feels like, I don't know, 7, 8. We're going to be dealing with major winds the whole way. Hopefully we'll have a major tailwind. That'll help us. And then here is our plan here. We're going to head to Buc-ee's. That's going to be part of memory lane, going to Buc-ee's. Then we'll go down 81 here. And we will continue to see if it'll let me slide. Yep. Go down 81. And then we'll go to stand in charge. And then I was going to take us down to Bruggs Mill because that is a pretty pivotal stop in my journey here as the Average EV, but we're gonna save some time. We're gonna cut through and then go to somewhere around here. There's a Tesla. Nope, that's wrong. I think Rustburg right here wants me to charge. So that's the plan. Let's get on the road. And I do want to mention, everybody, I'm running my old school setup. So before the Equinox, which does everything itself, when I was in the ID.4 and the Kona running my old school setup. So I got a better route planner. I did the subscription. I actually haven't used it in a long time. It's a lot better now. It's nice. I see why people are enjoying it more. Glad I pushed that early in my days. And I'm going to be using that. And then I run that alongside Waze, so I get all the traffic data, which is good, I think, and helps me make good decisions while I'm driving. And that's the setup I'm going to run. And I think now it's time to get on the road to Buc-ee's. But before we go there, we are going to Steven City to charge up at the Electrify America. All right, everybody, quick update. I'm on the road and it is windy. We got 17-mile-an-hour winds, sustained winds, and then we've got 40-mile-an-hour plus wind gusts. So our efficiency has been dreadful already, and we're barely on the road. Typically, I'd still be in, like, you know, the mid-3s or higher with the ID.4, but right now I'm at 3.2. So it's definitely a little bit lower than I would expect going these lower speeds. We'll see how this thing holds up with the wind. I did choose to take the ID.4 instead of the Equinox because I knew it would be a little bit more aerodynamic and has a little bit less frontal surface area than the Equinox, be a little bit more efficient. And for when I do have to pay to charge, save a little bit of money. But anyways, yep, it is windy. I am gonna keep on driving here and meet you all probably at coffee, if not Steven City, Virginia. Stopped at Starbucks, grabbed my order. This order has got me through many road trips here on the average EV. If you ever wonder what my order is, it's right there. Venti cold brew, light ice, light cream. That's what I always get. Anyways, we're gonna get right back on the road here, going to Steven City, Virginia. Catch you all when I'm plugging in using Plug and Charge at the Electrify America. We have made it, everybody, to the Electrify America in Steven City out of Sheets. 86 miles, hour 42 minutes of driving, 2.7 miles per kilowatt hour, 51 mile per hour average, and we are at 25%, so we arrived with quite a bit more state of charge than anticipated, which is good, I guess. But here it is, upgraded site, looking nice. Let's get plugged in. All right, everybody, and as will be the story of this whole trip, it is windy, windy, windy. All right, so let's go ahead, plug in. The cables are nice and freezing, as is my battery, so I don't anticipate to get a very good charge. Let's hop in the car real quick, see what we get. And again, I have a plug and charge here, so that's why I'm trusting it works. All right, I just heard the cabinets fire up. They're right there. Dunk, dunk, dunk. There it was. Let's see what we get. There we go. Heard the charge port lock. And I'm not anticipating good speeds. 82. That's about what I would expect at this cold. The battery was around 40 degrees Fahrenheit. 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And so that's fine. Let's see how much we need to get where we need to go. Yep, this is it. It's telling me nothing. Okay. Usually it'll say, like, you know, how much you need to charge to. Let me pop into the app on my phone and see what's going on. So I looked on my phone, it says I need to charge to 67%, so 40%. We'll see how long that takes. I'm gonna run in, use the restroom, and then I'll catch up with y'all hopefully when I'm unplugging. All right, so we're charging up here. Got about, I think I said 68%, so 21 more percent to go. Shouldn't be too long. Still charging slow, that's because the battery's cold. That's the problem with these, I think it was model year 2023 and before, there's no battery preconditioning. Now, I actually think I've seen on some of the Volkswagen forums, there is something you can install to do manual preconditioning. I've considered it. I'm not sure how much longer we're gonna have the ID.4 because we are looking at the R2, that's coming up soon. and this is the car we would probably trade in to get the R2. So we'll see what happens there, but that is available. But that is a negative because I'm, you know, having to take a little bit longer to charge. World's not going to end. I'm hoping I can ride the battery being warm after this charging session. That typically does happen, but we shall see. It was only, when I looked, it was only around 70 degrees Fahrenheit. I know I usually do Celsius, but apparently my better route planner is in Fahrenheit. So anyways, that's fine. Just ticked over to 50%. Only need 18 more percent. World's not going to end. We'd be around 90-ish kilowatts right now anyway, so we're doing all right. Check in with you all when I go ahead and unplug. We are done charging. Let's go ahead and press stop. Okay, unplug, put this thing back, finagle the cable. Oh no. Ugh. Here we go. Thank you very much. 22 minutes, not too bad. Let's get on the way. Okay, Y says we'll be there in an hour to Buc-ee's. And then this also says we'll be there in an hour. And it says we'll arrive with 32% to Buc-ee's. So maybe a better route planner told me to charge too much, but oh well. On the road to Buc-ee's, get a brisket taco. All right, we have arrived here at Buc-ee's, just a 66-mile jaunt. Here's our trip, full trip there, 153 mile, 2.6 mile per kilowatt hour. Now I'm gonna run into Buc-ee's. I'm gonna grab some brisket tacos and maybe a couple other things and then get on the road. The only bad thing with this Buc-ee's is there's no charging. I've heard rumors that there will be charging here, likely Tesla and then Mercedes-Benz, because Mercedes-Benz high power charging has a partnership, but I haven't seen any movement, so I don't know if that's gonna happen. I hope it's true, because this is a really great spot on 81 when you're going to Asheville, or even if you want to head out towards Tennessee, something like that. And, you know, no charging yet, but let's go running, get some food, and then I'll catch up with y'all when I get back. Okay, so went into Buc-ee's, got some brisket tacos, excellent. And now I'm about to head out, but before I did, want to kind of catch up a little bit here. So Buc-ee's have been pivotal in my EV journey. Just kidding. But seriously, they're a great place to stop, especially when you're traveling on 95 in South Carolina and Florida. And then obviously when you go west, there's a bunch of different Buc-ee's. If you're on 70, there's one in Missouri. There, when you are going like through Tennessee, there's a couple. And obviously there's a bunch in Texas and a bunch of other places. So pretty awesome. Love Buc-ee's, love their brisket. Like I say, for gas station brisket, 10 out of 10. For brisket, maybe like a 7 out of 10, you know, around there, but still pretty good. Now I am traveling down 81. 81 is, like I said earlier, it's one of the first routes I actually took to get, took an EV on a trip. Took my 2021 Kona Electric, rest in peace. If you didn't know about that, it ran into a deer, or deer ran into it, whatever. I don't know how you word that. But anyways, took that down with my friend on 81. We went to Asheville, like I said, and that was kind of the start, you know, of this channel being like, wow, you know, you can do this thing with an electric vehicle. You can travel where you want to go. And that was with arguably one of the worst, not the worst, but a not great road tripping EV. And it was still possible for me to go to a place I like in Asheville with an electric car and not need to worry about having a gas car to get there. Fast forward, we get the Volkswagen ID.4 to replace my wife's Nissan Rogue. And then that's kind of where the channel blew up. A lot of people, thank you OG ID.4 people, but they've been watching for a long time, providing them content. And that's why in this video, I'm out here in the ID.4 going down memory lane, and it's gonna be a cool rest of the trip. All right, everybody, back in the car, recorded the intro. Hopefully you'll enjoy that. And it says we're gonna arrive at, I believe it's a Tesla supercharger at 9%. We're at 23% right now. Let's go ahead. Actually, no, I think this is the Stanton Staunton, Virginia, Electrify America, which is out of Walmart, which is good because I need a camera mount if I'm ever gonna talk to you all. And look at this dust. Look at that. I'll fix that. I'll fix that. We have made it to Electrify America. 85 mile, 2.4 mile per kilowatt hour. This includes the Buc-ee stop. Yep. Here's our trip total so far, and we arrived at 10%. Bad news is there's a queue. Trip down memory lane. I've been at many queues, especially here at this Stanton Electrify America. I actually, that Subaru Solterra just got here, so I just missed getting the spot. But no worries, it looks like there's a brand new V3.5 Tesla supercharger across the street at Wawa. So what I'm gonna do, run into Walmart really quick. There's something I gotta grab. I'm gonna try and grab a mount so you all can join me on some road conversations. And then I'll go over to the Tesla, unless one of these becomes available by the time I get back out. So let's run into Walmart and let's see if we can find myself a mount. All right, came out and this stall was vacated. And that's good news because the V3.5 at the Wawa actually isn't open yet. So that's good. For me, this opened up. So connecting to vehicle. I'll be back when this is connected. All right, we're connected and initiating. Cabinets clicking. Continue. I'm actually not sure how much we need to charge here. The battery is definitely not warm enough. That much I can tell you. It cooled off while I was in Buc-ee's. So let's see what we get. Anything above 100 would be nice, but not expecting it. 85, 87. Yep, so that's unfortunately what I would expect because it's cold out. Oh man. Oh well. So we'll charge up, but let's go talk about one of my favorite stories while I was charging here. So if you've ever been to the Staunton, correct me in the comments, Virginia Electrify America site, over here if you walk, I'm walking this way, away from it, there is a couple things, a Dunkin' Donuts, Baskin Robbins, and there's a Firehouse Subs. And one time I was here, and I was with my friend when we took the trip into Kona, and we stopped here to get lunch or dinner or something like that. And you have to walk down this hill, and I go in there, and we order subs, and man, it must have taken a half hour for them to make our subs. And we had like one person in front of us, so it wasn't even that busy. And I was like, oh, maybe it's just an off day, who knows? So then I come here, maybe a month, year, I think it was a year or more later, because I was in the Equinox, and I go to get the sub, and I'm the only person there. And it took me like 20 minutes to get a sub. So I'm not sure if that's just how this Firehouse Sub operates or whatnot, but it has always been the slowest meal for me to get. But every time, by the time I get the sub and get back to the car is done. And it's like, what's been taking you so long? So anyways, yeah, lots of memories here at this Stanton Walmart. It's also a Walmart we stop at when, we go to Asheville with the family, or one time, where did we go? Oh, it was Asheville. And it's just a good stop. Let the dog look out. There's a little grass. And Walmart's always nice. Has stuff you need to get a little extra stuff, just like I grabbed that mount for the car. So yeah, well anyways, I'm gonna hop in the car because it is freezing my hands. All right, so we're charging. We're at 31% right now, pulling 89 kilowatts, and it says we only need to charge 56% to arrive at the next spot with 5%. So I'm cool with that. And it says it's going to take 8 more minutes. We'll see if that's true at these slower speeds, but that's where we're at right now. And I was able to get this mount, but apparently it's not strong enough to hold my phone without using the little magnetic attachment thing, so I went ahead and added it. This also isn't my preferred location to put my phone. I usually like it in the center, but here it is, so we can at least chat a little bit on the ride, which is always fun. We're about ready to unplug 54% state of charge, 103 miles. And actually, let me switch to Waze. 83 miles to go, so we should be good. 20-mile buffer, hour and a half of driving, and we're going to a nice V3.5 in Rustburg, Virginia. Looks like a nice stop, probably at like a Sheetz or Wawa, something like that. We'll see when we get there, but as soon as this clicks over to 56, I'll get out of the car and then I will press stop charging on the screen, because you might as well get as much juice as you can while you're here. 56%, let's go ahead and do that. And I'm done. Stop. There we go. Perfect. There's that. Someone's listening to like a full-blown movie. There we go. Add a 46% of the battery. And now this EV6, they're waiting for me. They can come and charge. On our way to Rustburg, Virginia. Here we go. All right, everybody. So we are on the road, and now I can chat a little bit while we're driving. So I wanted to go down to Brug's Mill Country Store and use the Electrify America there, but it's going to add like an hour or two to my total drive, so I didn't do that. And that's why we're kind of cutting through Virginia here. And anyways, I want to talk a little bit about Brug's Mill Country Store. There was a point where that was a vital charging stop, because to get across 81, it was Brug's Mill Country Store, and then Wytheville, and then whichever the next one is, which I think the next one is in North Carolina. And there was this point in time where the Wytheville Electrify America was down. The Wytheville, or Withville, no, I think I'm saying it wrong. Everybody, please just be kind to me in the comments. I'm doing the best I can with all these names. I'm sure if you come to my neck of the woods, you'll say things wrong too. But anyways, the Withville site was completely down, and so you had to charge up at the Electrify America pretty substantially so that you could make it to the next one, which was either like barely in Virginia or in North Carolina, if you're heading towards Asheville or Tennessee or anything like that. And that was a big deal. And so I've been there many times at night when the store is closed and there's nothing to be to do there. Many times when it was open, and they're very nice and welcoming in there, because it's just like a kind of old school country store, the old school country food, nice place to stop, very picturesque kind of building, and so yeah, it's a great site. And again, that infamous trip I took with my friend in the Kona, we stopped there as well, had to charge up, and yeah, so that's that. Now we're on to the new. We're heading to a newish. I don't even know if the last time I drove through this way, if it was here. Maybe it was, or I just finished, or I don't recall. But anyways, Tesla version 3.5 site. Volkswagen now has access to the Tesla Supercharger network, so I can use that. And again, that's another thing. When I first started this channel, there was no Tesla Supercharger network access for non-Tesla vehicles. It wasn't even hinted at. And so, charging was tough. Then when Tesla finally opened it up, the people could see the light at the end of the tunnel. And then of course, Volkswagen was one of the last that signed on to get access, but they have access now. BMW, I believe, was afterwards, so we weren't the complete last. But now we've got it, and now people have access and the ability to use that network should they choose to. And I know a lot of people don't want to use that network, and that's totally fine. I understand your points, but for me, I'm going to go wherever's most convenient, and typically wherever's most affordable. And Tesla a lot of the time tends to be affordable. Now, there are some newcomers into the space that are being pretty competitive with their pricing, and that is the likes of Iona. BP Pulses are also pretty reasonable regionally. When I was in LA, I was at the LAX Inglewood site, and that was a little pricey, but it was in California. But the one over on the east side of Maryland and in Elkton is pretty reasonably priced, and I've been to a couple others that are pretty reasonably priced. So that's another up and coming one. And yeah, I totally lost my train of thought there. But oh yeah, I was just talking about, yeah, I remember. So Tesla is pretty affordable. There's some other affordable ones. So yeah, it was a big deal having Tesla, you know, open up to everybody, and hopefully with the coming of Iona, Walmart, Mercedes-Benz high power charging network, a few others, there will be a little competition, and that will help drive prices down for people. We'll see what happens. And as these, you know, the CPOs, they have to make it profitable, so we'll see how they manage to do that as well. It'll be interesting to see what approach works best. So anyways, now I'm going to get back to paying attention on the road here. We're about to take an exit in a mile and a half, and then I will catch up with you all at the Tesla supercharger site. All right, it says I need to charge at 60%. I'm actually going to make an adjustment so I have it to the store I want to go to in Durham or Raleigh or somewhere in the thereabouts of this area. So anyways, there's that. Let's go to the stats. Vehicle data. All right, so 87 miles, 3.4 mile per kilowatt hour. So it got some decent efficiency. Did that bring this up? Yeah, 2.8 mile per kilowatt hour, 259 miles traveled today, 5 hours total. Let's go ahead and plug in. Went ahead and activated. I did try something different to see if it works. I plugged the adapter in, but not the Tesla port, and then activated it and then plugged it in. That way you don't have to like fumble with everything. And that worked. So I'll probably do that from now on with the ID.4, because the ID.4, when you plug it in and then activate, it seems to not work. Equinox works perfectly fine when you do it that way. And the funny thing is too, I plugged this in at like an Iona and activated, and it worked. So it must be like a Tesla thing. But yeah, we're charging. And then I totally lied to you. I have been to this site before. I have absolutely been here. It was when I went to Garner. I think when Garner opened up, I drove down and I came back this way, and I did charge here. So this is a nice little installation. And it's at Royal Farms. I forgot that Royal Farms came down this far, but it does. So yeah, nice little stop. We're gonna charge up, and I'm gonna go in and use the restroom. All right, so we're getting 140 kilowatts, so that's good. The battery was warm, or not as warm as I'd like it to be, so that did seem to pay off. So there's that. I wanted to share that before I went into the restroom. Charging up. Says I need to make it to 69%. It says about 2-hour drive to the grocery store I'm going to get what I am coming to get. The beverage I can only purchase in North Carolina because they don't sell it, or they don't distribute it elsewhere, which is fine. So every once in a while I do this trip to pick up some. And so that's that. So we'll just sit here, charge a little bit more, and then we'll get on our way. Next stop will be around the Durham area. Then maybe we'll stop somewhere in Raleigh for lunch. And then we're gonna go to Parker's to pick up some barbecue chicken. If you've never been to Parker's on one of our trips to the beach, because we go down 95 and then over, we pop into Wilson, North Carolina, which is actually a really cool small town. And there's this place called Parker's, and they have they do fried chicken, and they do barbecue chicken, and they do barbecue pork, or pork barbecue. And it's all really good. And I really like the barbecue chicken. It's like, they cook it so slow, and they baste it, and it has this great barbecue flavor, and it like falls apart, melt in your mouth. It's so good, so good. So if you ever have a chance, go ahead and stop there. They do dine in and carry out. I'm just gonna carry out probably like two birds, and then we'll make some sides at home tonight if I make it home in time, which not looking good, but we can have it tomorrow. So yeah, there's that. I will catch up with you all once I have decided to leave here. We might go a little bit more than 69%. Honestly, once we're at 69, might as well go to 80, and then we'll have plenty of charge to make it to Durham. We have hit 80%. Let's go ahead and unplug. There we go. And then I'll check back in. All right, well, sorry, it's always awkward to unplug. Went ahead and got that done. We're at 80%. Time to go. Seatbelt buckled. The battery got nice and warm, so let's see if it keeps that to our next spot. It appears my phone is overheating, so yikes, but I'll figure that out in a second. All right, everybody, I totally forgot to tell you, but I got here, went to the grocery store, got what I needed to get. Thank you, Harris Teeter. I might stop at one more grocery store, but I need to get lunch. So now I'm gonna head into Durham, maybe Raleigh, find something for lunch, then pop down to Gardner, and then get out of Dodge, head towards Wilson, pick up a barbecue chicken, and we'll be good to go. Here are the numbers for the last leg, 104 miles, 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour, pretty good. Long term, we're up to 3 miles per kilowatt hour, which is great. This is 50 degrees outside, really? Okay, maybe. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get on the way. I'll catch up with y'all in a bit. All right, so I found this place called Transfer Company Food Hall. I'm gonna check that out for lunch. A little different for me. And then here is our data. 141 miles, 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour. So I'm gonna go ahead, go in there, eat, go to the bathroom, and then get on the way to Garner, check that out, see how that's developed, and then go home. Okay, everybody, made it to Ayana. There it is. In Garner, gonna go ahead and plug in. I'm gonna get enough. I'm either gonna go to the Rocky Mount Electrify America, or I'm going to go to, why is the name escaping me? But it's the really big Tesla supercharger site that's just after that. I might do that just because it's closer off the highway, and I'm running a little bit later than I thought it'd be, and I'd really like to get home, so I'm gonna try and optimize. So I'm just gonna get just enough to get there at, I don't know, 0%, 5%, that's my goal. So that's the plan. Let's go ahead and plug in. All right, it says I need to charge up to 58%, not too bad. So let's go ahead and plug in. All right, so I went ahead and paid, I'm plugged in. And again, see, I'm plugged in. I didn't pay and then plug in like I have to do with Tesla. And let's see what happens. Preparing to charge, 90 cents per kilowatt hour. They're kind of running a special right now. Although that could be the price of this site, I'm not 100% sure. And it's blinking white and it's green and we're charging. So don't know why we can't do that at Tesla, but let's see what speeds we get. Not expecting too much here because the battery should be cold. Oh, but I'll take this. What a delight. 146, I'll take that. And I'm gonna go in and use the restroom, use the shop, and then we'll get out of here at 58%. All right, little wrinkle in my plan is I forgot I need to go to Parker's to get barbecue. So, yikes. So now I have to charge the 71%. So I'm gonna be here a little bit longer. Nothing too crazy. Let me go into charging real quick and see roughly when we're gonna leave. So say roughly 70%. So it says 15 minutes. So that's not the end of the world. And we could probably leave a little earlier. We'll see. So, okay, 15 minutes. Let me walk you all around and show you the site. If you haven't checked out the video, hopefully I'll remember to do it, but I'll put a link down below to my original video with this site and maybe even my EV charging set review. Check them out, give them some likes, and give them some views. Let's go check the site out. All right, so here's the site. Got 1, 2, 3 CCS. There's an Ionic charging here, Ionic 5. Got some windshield washer fluid. I'm actually going to use that because my wife's car's windows are very dirty. I'm charging up here. H/C400s. Love these things. There you go. Pretty typical charging curve there. Okay. Go home. And then this is the accessible spot, but it's just CCS, which I think is interesting. I think it's interesting. That's what I'll say. And then we have NACS here. So if your vehicle has it. And then this was not here last time I was here, which is super cool. A windshield washer dispenser and tire pressure. Tap your card. I've never seen it. Washer fluid, air pump. Air pump is $1.69 just to use it. And then we'll shut off after 5 minutes. And then this is just washer fluid. Pre-authorization. Pretty cool. So there is that. And then, still not sure what's going on there. Maybe a pull through, who knows. And then there's this art, which looks really nice. Really great. I wonder if this is the same artist as the Apex site. Not sure, but it has a similar style. Like it's colorful and looks really cool. And then I will say, the reason why I think it's interesting, just because, you know, if someone does need to use the accessible spot and they have a Tesla, well, they'll have to have an adapter, which they may not have. So it might be nice for it to be a CCS and a NACS. I've probably said that in my old video, but not the end of the world, because if I'm being honest, the NACS sites are pretty accessible for the most part, but definitely not as easy as this one to just roll up using the access aisles. Sorry, the lighting's kind of bad, but just to share a little bit of story about this site, and honestly, Raleigh in general. For, you know, I went to the Apex opening for Ioniq, which was super cool, got to meet a lot of cool people. And then when Gartner happened, I emailed Walter from the Network Architect channel, and I was like, hey, are you gonna go check it out? I was like, yeah. So we actually came the same day and we both checked it out. And it was cool to meet him. He's a super nice guy. If you haven't checked out his channel, go ahead and check it out. It's the Network Architect channel. He also does some work with out of spec bits now, but just super nice, super knowledgeable. And, you know, we hang out for a while. We both shot our videos. We did a little collab where, you know, we just kind of chatted for a little bit. So that was a really nice experience. On top of that, with Raleigh's just always been a town that I really liked. And my wife and I came and stopped on our way to, we went to Savannah. That's where we went for a trip, for like an anniversary kind of celebration deal. And we stopped in Raleigh, and it was a super cool town. We really liked it. And then we were supposed to one summer, it was like the summer before, no, the summer of the pandemic, so 2020. So June-ish, July-ish 2020, we're supposed to go to Raleigh for a little, like just her and I trip. And well, you know, didn't happen because COVID happened. So yeah, whatever, but we've always liked Raleigh. It's been a really cool town, and it's cool that Ioniq is kind of headquartered here in Raleigh. And there's also a lot of things I like that I can get in Raleigh that I can't get in Maryland. And so I'll drive down here to get those, and I've done that forever, even before Ioniq existed. So yeah, super cool site, pretty memorable for me, and you know, want to share that kind of story a moment. Oh, another thing, we didn't manage to stop there, but Raleigh, if you all don't know, is also the turnaround point for my boomerang challenge. So I've done a boomerang challenge for the Kona, the ID.4, the Equinox, and the Tesla Model S. And that's just where my turnaround point was. I tried to find something that was around 700 miles, and that's where it was, at a Starbucks. There's an Electrify America site there, so I could charge if I needed to. And that's just kind of been a part of the average EV history as well. If you have never checked out any of those boomerang challenges, they're really fun. The winner currently is the Equinox, even though it doesn't charge as fast as the ID.4. You know, also, you can't necessarily compare them apples to apples because traffic changes, but it's still fun to do and see how they do. And then when I did the Model S, I actually stopped at Halifax, which I think we are going to stop at for sure, is Halifax. And when I stopped there for the Model S boomerang challenge, it was just the 8 or 12 V3 stalls. That was it, and a charge point. And now there's 60. So it's crazy just to see how the infrastructure, just in the time that I've had this channel and I've had an EV and I've been covering this stuff, that it's changed. Going from 12 to 60 is a pretty big deal, and it's a pretty cool site as well. Anyways, we're at 60%. We only need about 10 more, and then we can head out. So once that happens, I'll let you all know, and then we'll get on our way to Parker's Barbecue, grab some barbecue chicken and some pork, and then get on home. All right, we're at 69%, so I'm gonna go ahead and step out the car. Remember, when you stop at a charging stop or gas station, you know, whatever you want to call it, fuel station, it's always a great time to clean out your car. Always a great time to clean out your car. All right, there's that. Gonna go ahead, stop this. Select CCS. Well, before we do, of course, we gotta look at everything. So there it is, typical ID.4 curve, 153. Hopefully the battery will stay warm by the time we get to Tesla, but maybe not. 107 kilowatt average. 17 bucks. Go ahead and stop. Select. Yep. Stopping. And good. And again, I stop from the charger and it unlocks. So it's just a Tesla thing. Interesting. Just a Tesla thing. Well, another great experience. Still love how light those cables are. So easy to use. You know, anyone of any age could easily use those handles. All right, well, we're at 70. We're good to go. Let's get to Parker's. I can't wait to show you all Parker's. It's like 7 back in time, but everything tastes so good. All right, everyone, I'm here at Parker's. Yeah, here it is. So that's the main entrance if you want to eat in. And then takeout is right over here up this little, you'll see that guy kind of walk there. And then you have some outdoor bathrooms if you want to use them. They are a little sketchy, I'll be honest. But yeah, great food. I can already smell it. I'm gonna go grab some and then I'll catch up with y'all when I get on the road to Halifax, North Carolina. That's the name. All right, everybody. So I had a little barbecue sandwich, got a chicken for the family, some sides, and it was good. And the hush puppies, oh man, they were big and they were good. Absolutely delicious. So yeah, Parker's super cool. If you're ever traveling down 95, pop into Wilson, go to Parker's, grab some barbecue. Pro tip, over here they have a nice little patio area so you can grab some carryout, walk over the patio area if you got a dog, stay out here. Pretty nice. All right, now we're driving to Halifax. This has not oh, it did reset. So it says we'll arrive with 18%. That's way too much. And I don't know why it hasn't adjusted the time yet. And then, nope, not WebEx. Oh my gosh. There we go, Waze. It says it'll take 48 minutes to go 55 miles. Let's get on our way. Maybe I'll stop at a Starbucks. Listen, I know there's a Dunkin' there, but I'm a Starbucks guy, so I might stop at Starbucks somewhere. All right, everybody, I got here to Halifax and I put Emporia, which is the next one I wanted to stop at for my, trip down memory lane. And it's only 25 miles away. So we're just gonna literally plug in enough for me to like go in, use the restroom, and then come out. Because we have 30 miles, 25. So just get a little bit and then we'll get on our way to Emporia. All right, everybody, all plugged in, communicating, should be charging soon here at a V4 site. Got some trash cans, some squeegees over there, a guy driving really fast for no reason. Okay, yeah, that's how I would have done that. Anyways, super cool. My story I'll tell about this Halifax, I came here when they had relatively, just put these in, and they hadn't numbered any of the dispensers. And so what I ended up having to doing was guess. And I found a system where I would like find a spot that had a car in it, and then I would like count over and I would be able to guess what stall it was, and it worked for me. I was always able to charge, but definitely not ideal. Okay, want to double check that we're charging. We're getting 153. So that's kind of what you get, I guess, when it's pretty cold. So let's go ahead and run in, use the bathroom, and then get on our way. All right, and if you've never seen this site, here it is, giant site. So this is 48, and then over here is 12, and then that lone charge point down, there it is, charge point down the end. But anyways, great stop. The Oasis Travel Center is really nice too. And there's a pizza place open now, so they just put that in, which is good, because it's just Dunkin' before, but now you can get pizza and Dunkin' and whatever other fare they have there. But this is all the charging we need to do, so we're gonna go ahead and unplug. Seems silly, but that's all we needed. So we're at 34%, already added 30 miles. So go ahead, stop that. All right, and then unlock and get this bad boy out. One-handed, everything's harder when you're holding a phone. All right. All right, so we're at 35%, 66 miles. We're gonna go ahead, get on the road. We're gonna stop at Starbucks and then we'll be in Emporia. All right, everybody, we made it to Starbucks. I'm gonna run and grab my drink and then get on the way. I'll catch up with you all in Emporia. All right, so I'm stuck at this light, so I figured I'd chat real quick. They didn't have any cold brew, so I had to get my hot drink for winter, which is a venti peppermint mocha, but I take out most of the syrup and peppermint, so I only do 2 pumps of each. So it's still sugar, but it's not the worst. I don't know, just 'tis the season, so I tend to do that drink a lot. I'm gonna be waiting this line a long time if these people don't make their right turns faster. Holy cow. All right, here's our last little jaunt, everybody. And here are our trip totals. 545 miles, 3 miles per kilowatt hour. I'm gonna go ahead and get plugged in. Looks like there's someone here working on the site. Maybe just doing some maintenance, question mark, but let's go ahead and get plugged in. All right, everyone, I'm all plugged in there. I was actually in the 150 and then they left, so I went ahead and popped onto the 350. And now I'm gonna go into Walmart real quick and then get back and figure out how much we need to get to Richmond. Should be our next stop. All right, so it's been 10 minutes, gone 30% in 10 minutes, so pretty good. Or 93 kilowatts. Finally peaked around 170, and my favorite green light. Anyways, story time. So Emporia, this is like the classic spot that I want to try to make it to and skip Richmond when I'm doing the boomerang challenge. And usually I'm able to do it. I don't remember if the Kona did or not. I don't think the Kona did, but both the ID.4 and the Equinox were able to come all the way to Emporia. And I think the Equinox, I have to rewatch. Maybe you all can rewatch or maybe remember. I wonder if the Equinox even made it to Rocky Mount. May have made it to Rocky Mount. But anyways, this is a classic spot. Try to make it here. If I make it here, it's going to be a pretty good run because that's about like, you know, it's a pretty substantial chunk of distance, you know, to 250 miles, I think this is about, away from where I start. So anyways, that's that. It's so weird because I'm usually here at like 3 in the morning and no one's here. And there's like a bunch of people here. And I was actually able to go into the Walmart, so that was nice. And then we have stopped here on some road trips with my family. I think I met a family. Yes, I think this is the place I met someone where we were coming back from Florida and they also live in Maryland, but they also have a house down on the Space Coast. And that was the trip we were coming back from Disney, so it was kind of cool to run into them. And they are very, very nice people. So anyways, there's story time here at Emporia, a very eventful one. Next, we're heading to Richmond. I'm gonna go ahead, get in the car and figure out if we can unplug. We probably can at this point in time. All right, it says if we leave now, we'll arrive at 12%. So let's go ahead and stop that charge. 13 minutes. Plus, it was a very short amount of time that I was on that charger. So there we go. And off to Richmond. We have arrived in my favorite Electrify America site, Richmond, Virginia. That's right. You heard me, my favorite. That last leg, 71 miles, 2.6 mile per kilowatt hour. Our trip, we're ticking under 2.9 there, 600 miles so far. Let's go ahead, get out of here, get plugged, and then story time. All right, everybody, we're here at my favorite site, Richmond, Virginia. I say that a little tongue in cheek, but here we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. That's how I count. 8 charging dispensers, and this should, by all accounts, be a great charging site. But it's just been plagued by having bad hardware and really poor management by Electrify America, leading to bad customer experience, like me. And so you can go watch any of my number of videos where I'm here and having issues where chargers are derated, and then I let Electrify America know, and then they tell me, okay, we'll fix them, and they never do, and then it's a nightmare. And then I come here with my family one summer, and there's like I think it's like an 8-car queue, something like that. I ended up just going over to those. You can see on the green, the charge point units to charge, because I just wasn't gonna wait any longer. And when you just wanna get home, getting any sort of charge is better than getting no charge at all. So I just got distracted by the screen, 160 kilowatts. So a little bit better session, but still not the optimal speeds here. just to go back to that story, I came here and there was a queue. I actually had gotten a spot. And you know me, I try to just get as much as I need so I don't, you know, hog a charger so people can use it. And there was a Kona. And, you know, I had a Kona at the time. That's when we had the Kona and the ID.4. And I know that they don't get great charge rate. You know, they don't really need these chargers. And also I know that they wouldn't have any free charging likely. So I was like, hey, I went up to them, you know, there's a charge point right over there. You can go charge now. But instead they just decided to wait. They probably waited almost 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then they eventually got to charge. But at that point in time, they would have been probably halfway done charging if they had gone to the charge point unit. So that was just another like, I tried to help somebody and you know, it was kind of fruitless, but yeah, what a sight. But now it seems like they've got these up and running. I feel like 8 is a good number for this location. They just need to be working all the time. And now that they are working all the time, hopefully the site is, you know, good to go and providing good charging experiences for all. Look what's joined us, everybody. A Volkswagen ID Buzz always brings a smile to my face. Let's get back in the car, figure out how much we need to charge. We're probably ready to go, but I need to figure out where our next stop's gonna be. All right, so the current plan is to go to this Iona, which I always wanted to do. I wanted to check out the new Iona, and this is in a great spot. I want to make a video as well. So I'll plug in there, and I'm going to see how much I charge up while I'm there, and that will determine whether I'll actually need to charge or not again later. So we'll see how that goes. That's the current plan. Let's go ahead and get there, and it's not very far away, 15 minutes away. So let's get on our way to Iona. All right, everyone, we made it. 71%. I ran it up to 100. I'm gonna use the restroom, shoot a video, and then we're just gonna see how much charge we get in that time. All right, everybody, so just for this video, here is the Iona site here in Ashland. It's actually a great stop. It's about 0.6 miles from 95, and really the only game in town unless you go to the supercharger. And what's really nice about this spot too is it allows us to skip Richmond. So you can stop here, charge, and then skip that Electrify America in Richmond. And this is much more convenient to get to compared to Richmond. And it's at a Wawa. There's some other options too. If you want to walk across the street, there's a Five Guys and a Chipotle over there. I don't know if y'all can see that. But yeah, so this is a nice little stop. Now I'm gonna make my main vid for this site, and then I'll catch up with y'all when I'm done that and see where we're gonna go, see if we can make it home or if we need to just stop one more time. All right, everybody, just wrapped up the video. We're at 97% state of charge, 182 miles. I bet we could make it home. My car is a little nervous, and it did change the place for me to stop. Instead of being at the Montgomery Mall or whatever it's called, it tells me to go to the new Iona in Gaithersburg. And you all know I have no self-control when it comes to going to a new charging location, be it Iona or any other brand. So guess what? I think we're gonna stop at the Gaithersburg site real quick, check that one out, and then we'll go home. It literally says I have to charge for 5 minutes. So we'll probably end up charging for a little bit more because I might shoot another video there as well, just because it's a new site. And, you know, people seem to be into this Iona coverage. So let's go ahead. Well, maybe I'll let it charge up to 100. I'll let it charge up to 100. I haven't actually done a 100% charge in this car in a really long time, so it might be good for cell balancing. So I'll let it charge up to 100, and then we will get on our way. All right, everybody, we have made it here. 106 miles, 2.8 mile per kilowatt hour, hour and 38 minutes. There it is. And then here's our full trip stats, 734 miles. What a day it's been of driving. 2.9 mile per kilowatt hour. Let's step out of the car. I'll show you all the site. We'll get plugged in, and then I'll go shoot my little quick site review video. So here it is. This is Gaithersburg, Maryland. We've got 1, 2, 3 CCS and 1, 2 NACS. So their typical ratio there. Looking good. Down here, they're accessible spots. Looks like they're still, they just finished. Look at this dirt. But it is open and ready for business. It looks like this sign's bent. Yeah. Wonder what happened there. Anyways, yep, 39 cents per kilowatt hour. So looks good. Bank of America, Concentra Urgent Care, Aldi, Honey Baked Ham, a couple other things. H&R Black, get your taxes done, get a charge. So decent location. There's a Liberty, and then actually right there, hold up, is a 7-Eleven. So there you go. There's 24 hours. Pretty good spot. Can't complain about this. Let's go ahead and plug in. All right, we're all plugged in. Not expecting a big charge, and we don't need to add too much, just enough so I don't get home with 0. Although I could do that, but it'd be nice to not have to do that. All right, everyone, so it says I'll make it home with 15%. That is good enough for me. Gonna go ahead and stop this charge. And we are good to go here. There we go. Oh, I did notice they have these, where these screws are on the cable still. So a little fine tuning needed here at this site. All right, everybody, so charge is 60%. Says we'll ride with 15, maybe a little bit more. I think we'll see what actually happens. But let's go ahead and get on the road. Got an hour left ahead of me, and then I'm going straight to sleep. I have arrived at home. Here we are, last leg, 40 miles, 3.1 mile per kilowatt hour. Total trip, 775 miles in one day. Woof! 15 hours of driving, 2.9 mile per kilowatt hour, 51 mile per hour. Average speed. Arrived with 41%, way more than the 10. So that's interesting. Let's sum this trip up. Great trip. Just quick thoughts about the car. ID.4, great car, still a great car. Wish the seats were a little bit more comfortable. I do enjoy my Equinox seats a little bit better, but I do like the driving characteristics about the ID.4 a little bit more than the Equinox, especially with the extra power, and I like the rear wheel drive. So that was good, great experience. Travel Assist is nice, not as nice as Super Cruise, I will admit. Being able to not have your hands on the steering wheel is a big difference. The one thing I like more about Travel Assist compared to Super Cruise is that you can have lane centering everywhere, whereas Super Cruise is just on, the Super Cruise highway. So whatever, not a big deal. As far as the trip, it was a fun trip. Got to stop at some places that I've been to a bunch and kind of reminisce a little bit with you all. I hope you all enjoyed that. Just wanted to try something a little bit different this year to wrap up the year. And, just to be really honest, I'm just really grateful for all of you who choose to tune into this channel and who followed me for, a day, a week, a year, or the 3 years, going on 4 years that the average EV has been around. So again, I'm just so grateful and thankful. Thanks for watching and supporting and, liking and subscribing and, maybe telling your friends and family so that they can learn a little bit here on the average EV, because at the end of the day, that's the reason I really do this, is to help teach people and show that electric transportation is the way of the future. It's not as daunting as it may seem. Sometimes I get into the weeds a little bit because I do like all that charging stuff and I think it's really interesting. But at the end of the day, you all see me drive from one place to another most of the time with, very little issue, sometimes some issue. And it's gotten better over time, and hopefully I've cataloged that over the last 3 years. And I think we're in a good spot, honestly, right now. And with Ayana and BP Pulse and Mercedes-Benz and, obviously Electrify America getting together and Tesla Supercharger opening up the network, I think it's just such a different landscape than when I started this channel. And hopefully I helped you all take the leap, and hopefully you all can help others take the leap into what is, at least in my opinion, a better form of transportation. Electric transportation, it's, smooth driving, great driving experience, low maintenance, and just the way I would prefer a car ownership to be. It's just my personal, opinion, especially since I can charge at home. It's just an awesome experience. So anyways, that's all I have for today and for this year. I do have a bunch of videos queued up, so don't worry. We still got content coming. But thanks again for watching. If you haven't already, please remember to give a like, a subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will catch you all next time.